Alright y'all, I'm doing a review on my Chinese heater. It is currently 58 degrees outside. Oh, there's my hole up there. That's how loaded it in. And I've had this running for about 30 minutes now. And so far so good. It's pretty comfortable inside of here. I got a 12 by 28 building uninsulated. I got some measurements here. We'll measure what the inside here is. 118 degrees is what's showing right there. Let's see what. 234 degrees straight in the wind. That thing's pushing out 234 degrees of air. If you look outside the unit, it's about 84 degrees. The floor around it's about 91. Let's check just random stuff throughout the building. 79, 77, 83, 81. Just do some metal on here. Ow! 85. You can see it's pretty warm in here. And it's 57 degrees outside. Check it. 82 on that wood there. And I'll go outside and show you what the outside temperature is. So the outside temperature you're looking at 64 degrees. 64, 65 degrees outside. Now here's the inside. Here. Big 20 degree difference across the board. Closer you get over to the heater, it's hotter back here. So it wasn't too hard to put this together. Everything came out the box pretty much all intact. I got it hooked up to a battery, and the reason why I say use a battery is because I used one of those converters where it's like a 110 to a 12 volt. It did fine on running just a fan, but once that glow plug kicked on, and I needed to it needed to pull like 15 amps, 7 to 15 amps to start that glow plug. It couldn't handle it. It would just shut the whole machine off. So I had to get a battery, and I ran it on this battery for about a couple hours and have no voltage drop whatsoever, and put it in my vehicle. My old hard body Nissan started up just fine, so it doesn't draw too hard on this battery. That little Nissan I got, that's my little spark spare vehicle, so I just kind of using it for this for the time being. But all in all, it does good on diesel fuel, and it does real good on pulling current off that battery. Another thing is that I recommend, if you run the exhaust through the bottom of a wood floor like I did, make sure that you cut it out where you have at least a half an inch all the way around the pipe. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, then you need to get one of those little metal liners that you can knock into that hole or whatnot. It doesn't get hot enough to catch fire, but it does get hot enough to char it and cause it to smoke just a little bit. Not like billow smoke, but I think the case only gets about 400 degrees, 450 degrees, something like that. So I think normally for a start fire, it's got to be around 800 or something like that. But I got the exhaust coming out the back. The exhaust is pretty quiet. I'll run out there right now and let's listen. All right, I'm back down here at the exhaust. I got it just coming out the wood floor down here. You can see it. It doesn't get too hot. Actually, that's pretty hot. But from what I'm getting on here, about 104 degrees on the actual muffler. I'm getting about 284, 285 on the actual exhaust. Like I said, you know, it's not enough. It doesn't get hot enough to cause that thing to start smoldering and start a fire, but it does. You do smell. It does cause the wood to get blackened from heat or whatnot. But that's on wide open. It's really not that loud. So I'm gonna go back in the building and finish up this video. Whew. As I walk into the building, it's getting actually kind of unbearable hot in here. We're looking about 97 right here at the. Look at that, right at the floor. Ooh, getting on 213 coming out the vent. But it is hot in here. And with the sun, you're gonna have a little bit of radiant heat too. So if you look at the going towards the sun on that metal, it's about 111 degrees. Now that helps us out too. Put that in mind there. But this thing right here makes a good difference. I mean, you think about it. You got a couple hundred degrees coming out of the heater, and that's gonna be better than nothing. I can tell you that. For as much as that little thing pulls on power and fuel, I have no complaints. And these are very simple. A lot of people get run off when this thing, they find out it's a little cheap Chinese heater. Now, you got to understand these things. There's not very many moving parts. The only thing that you have is the pump. It's about that big. And the other thing that you have is the fan, the actual blower fan. Now, I priced these out online just to see what it would cost me to have this thing redone or whatever. And very rarely at that. Now, you have to have it cleaned out every now and then if you run them on low. Now, if you run them on high like this for a good bit of time, you don't have to clean these things out. But that low setting causes a lot of carbon build up inside of it. And the best thing for you to do is just keep checking your exhaust. When the tip starts to get black, then you start needing to run that heater up a little higher to keep that carbon burned out. I've never heard any issues whatsoever so far with these, but the parts, when they do go bad, they're very cheap. You can get the electric motor. It's a dual-sided electric motor. One's for the little turbine inside the motor itself to pull fresh air in, which the fresh air will come in from this thing here and then out the exhaust outside. And then the intake for to this air here is just on the back side of that thing, pulling out of that corner. It's coming out here. But the fuel pump's like $15. You can order it offline. The fan motor's like $20. and for like $25 you can order another module that goes to this. Now this is just a computer on the outside. There's a module on the inside that takes the case temperature and all this other stuff, so you can operate this efficiently. Now another thing is do not, and I'm going to say this again, if you want the maximum life out of your diesel heater, do not just unplug this while it's in heat mode. And the reason why I say that is, if you don't allow this to cool down, go through its cool down cycle, that case will stay hot at 450 degrees or what have you. That module that's on this case is on this back side here. It's plastic, it's a little computer. And what happens is that thing will get heat soaked because there's no fan cooling it off, and it will melt and destroy that computer board back there. So just a little word of advice for you. That little module is actually on the back side, so it's getting cool, fresh air all the time. And that's what's keeping it from, you know, not deteriorating. Now it can handle a pretty good bit of heat, but once it gets heat soaked by you not letting it cool down properly, it's done. So I haven't learned myself, but I've done the research on it, and that's and it makes sense. So when you want to shut her down, you see this red right here? This thing's red because it means do not unplug. That case is too hot. When it gets down into the green, that means we're good, but it will shut off by itself. So you just want to hit this and hit. See it's flashing off. Okay, fan went up, the flame's starting to go out. Your glow plug's going to come on, which you see right there. And what that's going to do is it's going to burn out that chamber, make sure there's no fuel left inside that chamber. And you can start to hear the pump. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to do this all the way until it completely burns out. Then that fan's going to go high again. Once that fan goes high again, it's going to blow like crazy to dissipate all that heat out of the fins and around that motor in there, or that burner. And that fan will kick off, and once it kicks off, then you can disconnect your battery. So if you got any more questions about these Chinese heaters, I'll let you know along the way. I'll do some update videos. I do some of my Chevy Blazer videos too. But with it becoming wintertime, I'm in North Carolina. I am in an uninsulated building. So we're going to see how this thing turns out this year. But I'll keep y'all updated. Y'all have a good one.